Hey, welcome back. Another episode of Something for the Culture. I am your creator and host, Jazzy J. And tonight I have a special, actually, one of the, maybe, no, actually the third female I've had on this platform because pretty much a lot of males come on here. But my co host from my other show, Righteously Ratchet, is joining us tonight. Mrs. Mama OD, welcome to the culture.
Hey, how you doing? How
All
y'all
right.
doing?
All right now. So listen, we do a little things a little different over here than on Righteously Ratchet where we just,
Okay,
you
vibe.
know, get
Uh-huh.
ratchet.
Okay.
So, we're gonna keep it real cute. And also followers, viewers, um, if you're particularly viewing for Facebook tonight, please, this platform is run off of you sending stars. So please send stars, stars, stars. So I can't ask you enough. That is how we benefit from giving you great content. So please send stars to keep this going. We're talking about depleted mother syndrome. Okay. And for those of y'all who don't really know what that is, um, it's basically, I wouldn't say an illness, but it's basically it occurs when demands are put on the mother and they increase and her resources decrease as a result of her imbalance. The mother's emotional sensitivity to both internal and external triggers become heightened, meaning that, in other words, her buttons begin to get pushed quickly than normal, or she's worn out, frazzled, exhausted, over, the list goes on. um Mama OD and myself, we had a conversation about this prior to this whole segment even happening. So we wanted to bring this to light because it's not something that a lot of African American mothers like to talk about. And why that is because a lot of times we tend to get shamed about it. And that's just simply not the case. At the end of the day, we are human beings. We all live and breathe the same. We all bleed the same. But we also get tired, especially if you're a mother, a wife, a single mother, a mother who's a house, home with her kids all the day, not working, or a working mother. We're exhausted. Mama D, I'm gonna let you kick it off. You had some notes that you wanted to
Yes,
get into, and let's
so girl, yes. So since we talked about this before, I was like, let's talk about what contributes, what societal pressures or stigmas, you know what I'm saying, contribute to
Mhm.
this. Okay. And so, like you were saying, that depleted mother syndrome is where mothers find themselves just drained physically, emotionally, due to being overwhelmed and expectations being placed on us. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I asked, like, what roles and ideologies has society programmed and conditioned into women that contribute to this syndrome? Okay.
Mhm.
So we got the self-sacrificing caregiver. Okay. So it's saying that we are taught as young women to be our primary role is caregiving for others, even at the
Mhm.
expense of our own well-being. Okay. It was saying that this ideology suggests that a good mother is one who puts everybody else's needs first. Okay. So that's one of
Mhm.
those stigmas that's been put on women, right? Or mothers.
Right.
Okay, we got the perfect mother myth. Okay, so a mother always must be patient, always nurturing, always available. That's one of those programs that society has given us that contributes to why we're feeling depleted. We're trying
Right.
to live up to these expectations, and we're not we're not considering our own needs because of how we feel somebody gonna think or somebody gonna say if we come out and say I'm tired of this mess, or I'm
Right.
ready for a break. Okay, you're not a perfect mom if you need a break, if you need time away, right?
Right.
They also said the martyr complex, and I said, oh, that's deep. Okay, we led to believe that suffering and sacrifice are virtuous. Okay, so, oh, if you're depleted and you have nothing left to give, oh, you should be proud of that. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Okay, I said that one hit me in my ovaries real quick. Like,
Right.
oh, like, because I know I resonate with that. Like, oh, I gotta be the
Exactly.
strong one. I have to be the one that sacrificed, because who else gonna do it if I don't? You know.
Right.
Oh, I said, whoa, Lord. Then they have the emotional labor expectation, and I was talking about that today on my page, about women
Mm-hmm.
always taking on the emotional labor. And that's we managing not our own emotions but everybody else. We tiptoeing around everybody else. We paying the most, using mental energy and emotional energy to monitor everybody in our families, to gauge where
I wanna
everybody's at.
I wanna
Hmm.
interject with you real quick. I
Yep,
want to tap
go
on
ahead.
that emotional part because and this applies, guys. This is one of the increased demands that goes with that, and that's when the mothers juggle more tasks, work longer, sleep less than other mothers, or either just other people in general are sleeping. So it's not just also emotional tiredness; it's a physical tiredness that ties into that as well. We are not getting the rest that we need to replenish and be able to go on and do our duties with our children, husband, there, and so on and so forth. Go ahead, Mama D. I just wanted to elaborate on that.
No, that's real. People think that women just operate off emotions, but
Hmm.
we are responsible for emotions more than anybody, really,
Indeed.
because we are built to go through phases. We're built like that, so
Right.
that we can handle all those modes and phases, you know
Right.
so it takes an emotional toll. Like I said, it's a lot of emotional labor. We the ones anticipating people needs. We're the ones resolving conflicts, all the while we suppressing how we really feel because we don't want nobody else to feel bad about how we feel.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's one of those stigmas, societal stigmas, that women are supposed to bear the brunt of all the emotional labor.
Hmm.
Okay. And we do. Okay, for the most part, we do. But then we looked
Right.
at crazy when we lash out, or when we done got fed up and had enough, shut down, you know?
Right.
Hmm. So then we also got the silent sufferer. Okay, many women raised to believe that they should keep their struggle to themselves, so they not
Hmm.
burdening somebody else. Okay,
Right.
with their problems, and just to power through whatever challenges come their way. Right, that's something
Right.
we programmed to do. I know that if I didn't have to be the strong friend, trust and believe, I wouldn't be.
Right.
But I don't have a choice. I feel I don't have a choice but to be who got it together, or who's can hold it together. You get what
I
I'm saying?
wanna I wanna tap on this too.
Hmm.
Um, for those who are not familiar with the roles that come with being a wife and a mother, um, and a worker or non-worker, whatever. These are the roles. So coordinator of home life,
Hmm.
social life and children, counselor, event organizer, playmate, cook, cleaner, shopper, bookkeeper, extended family liaison, night watcher, lover, friend, damn gardener sometimes, damn, the list goes on.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reason why I listed those down because a lot of people, or I'm not just gonna say men, but a lot of people tend to say to some mothers that are overworked and exhausted, Well, what is it that you do? I mean, that
What you mean?
what do
Everything.
you mean? What do I do?
Everything.
Everything. We are literally the backbone. Matter of fact, not even a backbone. Let's think of it. Let's put it like this. Let's
We're the
a
nervous
house.
system.
Basically,
The
that's one way to
central
put it.
nervous system
Basically,
that keeps everything alive.
okay. Basically, so
Because if we
well,
don't
let's
feed, who's
saying
going to?
that right. So if we're not feeding and nurturing ourselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, guess what? That nervous system breaks the fuck down. And then everything else starts to crumble down around us, meaning the children, meaning the husband, meaning whatever it is that mother is responsible for in her home. Go ahead, Mama OD.
Yep, yep. Okay, so let's see. We said let's see what we went through already. We said the self-sacrifice, the perfect mother myth, the martyr
Mm-hmm.
complex, the emotional labor expectation, the silent sufferer. Okay, then we have the have it all fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
Where modern culture promotes the idea that women should be able to have it all: a successful career, a perfect family, a spotless home, and a thriving social life without
Hmm.
showing any signs of struggle. Okay,
Hmm.
this is one of those unrealistic expectations that
So,
it puts pressure
question.
on us.
So, question today. So, it said we're supposed to be having a great work life, home life, thriving social life. So,
Mm-hmm.
do we take the kids and to the kids to the social life with us too?
Exactly. We don't know what we supposed to do. We just supposed to
So
do
we
it and
so we
make
in the
it happen.
club with the kids.
We make it happen. Turn up. Put them in the
Right.
VIP booth.
Okay. So I guess me
Okay.
me and the 9 month old gonna share a bottle of Henny.
Right. We just supposed to trust whoever we paying to watch our kids, or
Hmm.
we just supposed to have it all set up. Okay,
Hmm.
that's
That's
what this have it
interesting.
all supposed to say. I
That is
said, but that
interesting.
is something. But one thing, this a little off topic, but not really. But that's one of them things that this TV and media be pumping. They show the
Right.
black women having all this, having all that, being able to do this. But when do you see they children like that? Are they
With
always with
children,
a
honey.
nanny? Exactly. What's happening? Real life is you're the main caregiver of your
Right.
household. And,
Right.
and a lot of times the main breadwinner of your household.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So uh have it all sound like a myth. You know what I mean? We can
It
we can
sounds
dib and
fictional to me.
heavy on the fiction. Okay, fictitious entities.
Okay.
Okay,
Sound like a character that made up in a movie.
that's right, a robot. Okay,
Right. What
so
was that movie? Stepford Wife. That's
Stepford
exactly
Wives.
what it was.
Yep, yep,
Stepford
yep. Where
Wife.
they had all the robots. Okay, that's
Right.
what that's what they that's what they that's what they feel like we women should one of those societal programs,
Mm,
societal
mm,
conditioning.
mm, mm,
Okay.
mm.
Then we have, let's see, I only got 10 on this list. Okay, so we on number 7 right now. So
Mhm.
we got the invisible worker. Say mothers often take on the majority of the household and childcare without recognition or support, under the belief that these tasks are part of her job. Okay,
Hmm.
so that invisible labor gets unnoticed and unappreciated, which leads to resentment, exhaustion,
Mhm.
and depletion.
Mhm.
Okay, when your hard work is not acknowledged, it makes you feel undervalued and
Mhm.
invisible. So yeah,
Let
you not.
listen to
Go ahead.
Jack on the hard work. So, did you know, viewers, that the average mother works 20 more hours per week than her partner? 20 more hours than her partner, even if she's drawing a paycheck or not. Let that sink in. It doesn't all reflect back to work. She's still working even when she's clocked the fuck out.
Hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Because somebody has to get those kids ready for school. Somebody has to do the cleaning. Somebody has to, because 9 times out of 10, I'm sure whatever chores were assigned, or whatever the case may be, probably was not done, and she still has to come home from work and do that. And no, let's not mention about the cooking. So her job is not done until she lays down, and then that's only a little bit of time, and then she's back up again.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Mama D.
Mm-hmm. Preaching. Okay, let's see. Then we have the guilt-driven provider, and see, this is one of my favorite ones right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like that's one of the first things I work to get rid of, that guilt for not
Mm-hmm.
being able to do,
Mm-hmm.
or make it happen. Cause y'all not finna guilt trip me in the shit. Okay. Excuse
Mm-hmm.
me. But we not doing it. Okay. So let's see. Many women feel intense guilt if they take time for themselves. Feel like they're not providing enough. Okay. And once again, this guilt is rooted in societal expectations. Okay.
Hold it, hold it right there, because as you hold on, because I got one to add with it, and
Mm-hmm.
most of y'all may not like what I'm about to say, but I ain't never gave a
Preach
fuck
it.
about that.
Preach it.
So with the guilt thing, a lot of mothers are put under a microscope and expected to have, like you said earlier when we started the segment off, superhuman powers and resilience. Not only that, but it's not just from society, their own culture. That's us. That's
Mm-hmm.
us, people themselves, their husbands, their moms create guilt because what they have done in their household, so they're expecting you to do the same in their household, and feeling of never good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So now, instead of you supporting your fellow woman, because now she's a fellow woman just like you are, with her own needs and her own household, you're now shaming her for being what you probably was, and was probably scared to say in the first place when you had to do all of this. Go ahead, Mama.
Okay, and but that what you just said goes into the next number 9, the cultural pressure to be natural mothers. The
Mm-hmm.
idea that we should just instinctively know how to do these things, and if we struggling, that's a personal failing. And this it kind of undermines the real challenges of motherhood and discourages people from asking for help, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like this pressure to be, you under this microscope being judged and analyzed by, like you said, everybody, and
Yep.
nobody who's helping, first of all, judged by nobody who giving some help.
Hello.
Okay. That part. Right. But caring so much about these people is to our own detriment sometimes. It's to our own detriment sometimes. And then that comes to our last number 10, is the reluctance to delegate. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we told we gotta we conditioned to believe that we have to handle everything ourselves, so we reluctant to ask for help, or we know that we do it a certain way, so it's kind of like we can't stand to see it not done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It's more
Right.
pressure, so we're not going to delegate to somebody else, because it's like, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
That's
So it's
true.
like a never ending cycle. You know what I mean? Of look seeking, wanting help, needing help, but not being able to seek the
Right.
help because of all of the judgment and negativity that come with a black woman needing help. And it don't just come from uh the government. It come from people in your own house, in your own family,
Mm-hmm.
giving you this judgment. But like I said before, nobody wants to help though. Nobody want to babysit the kids for a weekend. Nobody want to come help clean up. Nobody want to put in on the maid. You know what I mean? But everybody want to
Right.
have something to say.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a one of those
Right.
can't win for losing type things.
Exactly. So I wanted to tap on this too, because A lot of people don't like to, or probably don't know that a lot of research shows that mothers take parenting related situations
Uh-oh.
whether it's a school event, no matter what the situation is, mothers internalize that, take it more seriously, and they always are the head running on those situations with the kids than the fathers are. Um, what I want to ask is, why is that? Why
Mm,
are we taking it more seriously than the other parent is?
mm.
We
Yeah, and
both
I
had the
believe it has.
kid.
Yeah, I
We
believe
both
it
laid
has to
down and
do a
created.
lot with gender roles. With how gender roles are
Mm-hmm.
defined. Everybody's like a man supposed to protect and provide, but protect and provide what? Is he just supposed to protect the house and provide the money? Or is he supposed to protect mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially as well? Is he supposed to provide emotionally and mentally and physically and emotionally as well? And
Right.
we're not having clear communication with men and women off the break. Not after somebody's pregnant, not after we done had sex for the first time and now
Mm-hmm.
all the googly shit has worn off because that post nut clarity, right? We're not having these
Okay.
conversations up front. Like, hey, what's your morals and your principles and your ethics? And what are your values as a man? And how do you feel a woman's supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? We not getting
Right.
to the core of this as a community. We arguing about who role is what and who's supposed to do what instead of how can we work together. You know what I mean? And that
Also about the
mhm,
pregnancy, because
glory.
within that first year of having your baby, right?
Hmm.
We're still recovering. A lot of people don't know that. They
It
think,
takes up to
oh,
2 years.
because you push the baby out, and within that 4 to 6 week period, we're still right. And within that 4 to 6 week period, they think we're just that's our recovery period. No,
No, it can take
we're
up
still
to two
recovering
years.
as the baby is growing.
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
hello.
up to two
Not
years.
to mention, if you're breastfeeding and weaning off the baby, you're depleted physically from that, emotionally from that. Like it's all of that ties into one thing. Let's not forget
Mhm.
those sleepless nights, because it's not just when they're newborns. Sometimes babies they get like that in 9 months, 10 months. It just depends on
Okay,
every baby's different.
okay,
So
my
those
baby is a
sleepless
year
nights,
and still ain't on it. Okay,
okay,
sometimes,
mine's is about to be 10 months.
okay, and still, have those times where she don't want to sleep all night or her schedule is off and she's
Right,
doing this and that.
right.
So trust, I get it.
Also, I wanted to tap on the fact that a lot of mothers also find it difficult to maintain their professional status after becoming parents. And
Yeah.
the reason why I say that, because first of all, not don't matter what your job is, your title is, where you work at. When you go to work, I'm sure you deal with shit at work with whatever it is you do, whether it's clients, whether it's customers, whatever the case may be. Then to leave that area, then come back home and have to do a whole nother, because that's a whole nother job, a
Mm,
whole just a different area now. That is a lot. And sometimes situations happens, emergency happens, and I do think that sometimes a lot of employers don't take that into consideration.
yeah, of course not.
And I get it, we're there to make money, get it, but at some point, when do you become more personable with your staff?
When the law make them,
Right.
when women start making the law make them, you know, no, we gotta make people care. They're not gonna just care on their own.
Like,
You
look how
know,
long it took for women to even get an area to even breastfeed or pump their breast within the working system, within
exactly.
the workforce. Like, it took
And it
years
seemed
to
like
even
it's
get
just an
there.
American problem. It seemed
Uh,
like it's just an American problem because I we don't. It's like we don't hear these type of issues nowhere else for real. It's just
no, we
us,
don't.
you know. And it
No, we
seemed
don't.
like it's more so with Black African American Native Indigenous Copper Tone people. Okay, whatever we want to call ourselves is mostly with us.
Hmm.
Seem like, you know. So it's like,
Right,
you know, it's it's tough to juggle your personal with your work life. You know, it's tough to balance
right.
everything, you know, together by yourself. I mean,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? And shit, even with a partner, it's still not easy. You know, it's
Yeah,
still not easy. You know, it's
right,
still not easy. So, you know, it's like
right,
you know, it's very difficult to deal with, but at the same time, I'm glad that you bringing it to the light because now more women can start to be aware, you know, and start looking, you know, looking into what where the signs coming in when you starting to feel overwhelmed, you know, or what's the best way you can reach out
right,
and speak up, you know, for your needs. You know, what's the best way to get rid of this shame and guilt that we feel? You know, so and this is a good
right.
way to kind of open up that dialogue within the community because it's definitely needed. Did y'all leave me one?
I agree. I agree. So let's talk about some of the signs with um DMS, because that's an abbreviation, DMS,
Mm-hmm.
depleted mother syndrome. So some of the signs may be, for example, you're lashing out more than you would normally lash out. Your attitude is heightened, you're more aggressive, you're more irritable, because one, you have not had a release. That's another thing. If you have not, you don't have time. You're, first of all, you're eating fast because you have to get back to your children or babies or whatever the case may be. So you're cutting your time off to have that time to sit down and actually give yourself some some fuel for your body. On
Mm-hmm.
top of the fact, you're not properly getting the time to exercise and release a lot of those toxins that are back the hell up in your body. Okay? So without that release, whatever, and it may not be exercise, may not be your release. It could be reading, anything, whatever your vice is to release. If you're not getting that proper time, guess what? You're gonna lash out. You're gonna be irritable. Things that normally wouldn't upset you, it could be the littlest thing. Maybe your kid asked you for apple juice and you just snapped at the kid for asking for damn apple juice. It's not the kid's fault. He don't know that you're going through DMS. But we know that we're going through it and we have not taken the proper time to separate ourselves from the situation and try to gain ourselves back. It's nothing wrong with asking for help. And I want to stress that because in our community, they like to shame us for asking for help. They do. It's like we're weak if we need help. And
Yeah.
that's not even just with DMS. That's with any type of health related issue, whether you want to go to therapy, whether you have a mental illness, whatever the case may be. Our community is always shaming us for needing
Yeah.
or asking for help.
Yeah, for mental and emotional health. You know, everybody it's like if we need something physical done, oh, that's cool because we're supposed to be dainty and helpless
Mhm.
physically. But when we
Mhm.
need something mentally or emotionally, it's like we looked at crazy. Like, ain't y'all
Right.
supposed to have that together? Like, no, we're still human.
No. No.
We're still having a human experience. And I also want to add on to your the because irritability comes with emotional exhaustion. Okay.
Um,
And
big time.
yeah, and it's also could be numbness, where you
Mm-hmm.
just block everything out. And that's another reason
Mm-hmm.
why help is not asked for, because you just like, I give up. I don't, I can't, I literally just cannot. So I don't, I just go through the motions. I just, fake it till I make it, not really connected to what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then another thing is that resentment builds up,
Yep.
is one of those things that happen. You start to feel yourself like, I can't stand this shit, or I'm ready to leave.
Right.
You constantly feeling like you ready to run away, or you bitter about like, I do all this stuff and I can't even, when them feelings start to arising,
Mm-hmm.
that's how we know, like, we burnt out.
You
I
know
can't.
what's crazy with my personal story? Because I have three children. So, and well, you know that, Mama D. But for those who don't know
Mhm.
that, I have three children. I am married, and my oldest is about to be 25, but she still lives at home until she's that's what she's working on now, getting her place. And then I have a 10-year-old, and then the soon to be 10-month old. With my last baby compared to my first kid, this last baby, I was emotionally drained, physically drained with her. Not that I felt like that with the other two kids, and it's because, like I said before, each child is different. You may not
Mhm.
have the same situation you had with the baby before that, or so on and so forth. This one, on top of the fact of me working a job where sometimes it's anywhere from 40 to 60 hours, whatever the case may
Mhm.
be, that is very draining to do.
Right.
And sometimes you don't get the proper rest. There's been many days I have personally went to work exhausted because I've gotten all of 2 hours sleep. Because guess what? My baby didn't go to sleep that night. She wanted to be up.
Right. Right.
You know. So my thing is this: for the ones that are going through this, and the ones that do ask for help and put it out there, hey, I need help. I'm drowning here and I need help. I need a moment, even if they just need a moment to grasp it. Listen, because 9 times out of 10, if they're asking for help, they might really fucking need it.
Right.
They might need it. And I mean, Michael, and he said sometimes you have to isolate yourself to build yourself
Ah,
up. I agree. I agree. That's something that we should do,
right.
but as a mother, that's not always possible.
Right. Not always a plausible idea situation either. You know,
Right.
who gonna take care of the children? Who gonna make sure everything is together? Are we supposed to
Right.
not care if everything is not handled? If that's one of those things. Like, do we gotta just let go and let God? And go off
Right.
to ourselves in the wilderness. It's one of those things that's, if you have a support system, yeah, you can isolate yourself. But if you don't have a support system, you cannot do that.
Right.
There's no way to do that if you don't have a solid support system. You know?
Right.
So we need to be fostering great relationships,
Mhm.
and building community with each other. That's what we should be doing,
Right.
and not hating, gossiping, fake news type shit.
Right.
Let's bond over motherhood. Let's
Right.
bond over womanhood. Let's bond over, let's create the community that we seeking out.
Mhm.
Nobody want to babysit. Like, um I
Right.
had a great example of a family dynamic with my ex and his family. So it was his mom, him, a brother, and a sister, and everybody had children. You know, mom's grandma, they ain't had no kids, but
Right.
the sister had 3 kids. He had 5 kids. His other brother had 3 or 4 kids. And every weekend, one household would take all the children
Right.
on Friday. Come bring all the kids to this one whole household. And they would switch it up every weekend. One weekend they at our house. One
Like
weekend they at grandma's
the
house.
mom, what was that? Tyler Perry made a movie about it. It was like some, I forgot the name of it, but it was like about four ladies, four mothers, and during the movie, each mom would take the kids for a weekend while the other three moms went and enjoyed whatever it is they were going to enjoy, and then they
Right.
rotate.
Okay. Okay. See, exactly. See, I didn't even know they had a movie talking about it. See,
I think
but
it's the first Moms Club or something of that nature.
yeah, I just saw that example with a family, and that, is my ex family, so I was a part of their family at the time, and I was like, this is so beautiful,
Hmm.
and then Sunday everybody comes over and we all eat, and then everybody leave. With their children, like, or they go up to their grandma's house and cook, or do something family related on that day when everybody's coming to get picked up. And I'm like, that's beautiful. And why we don't have that? Why we don't have that community like that anymore? Or what's
Right.
stopping it from happening? You know what I mean? And so that's one of those things. It's like we have to
Right.
create our own solutions, even though we did not create the problem. Or we didn't create the problem alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's one of those things that,
Now,
yeah, it's another thing we got to do, but we got to do it if we want to see
right.
change happen.
Right, right. And before we could get to the solution, first we got to admit that there's a problem. A lot of us
Okay,
don't even like to admit there's a whole problem.
that part.
Like it steps with it. It's just like the 12-step program. There's levels to each situation. You have to
Mm-hmm.
admit that, hey, I'm tired. And hey, sometimes, listen, let me just be real. A lot of parents, or let me say not parents, a lot of mothers don't understand nerves. You get what I'm saying? A lot of mothers don't nerves a bit, and I
Oh,
just need a
right.
breather. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Okay.
You don't really not, you really don't dislike your kids. You're just exhausted. You're tired. You need a break, and there's
Yeah, you just
nothing
don't
wrong
like
with
it right.
breaking. Right. It is a
Yeah,
deeper problem
sometimes we
than
don't
people
like
know, Michael.
ourselves. So,
Right.
but
It is a very deep problem that is not discussed nearly enough. And I mean, listen, y'all forget the black woman has been the backbone for a lot of things since slavery. We was the ones that was nourishing the men that was getting their ass whooped and all that other shit when they would come back to the cabins. We would have to, they were feeding off our breast milk to even get any type of nourishment. Like we're tired. We are tired. Okay. Building underground railroads and all that other shit. We're tired.
okay.
So in this day and age, what do you think besides having a support group? What's another solution that we can do?
Um, we can start learning how to get rid of that guilt and shame that we feel or may feel. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have a partner, start learning
Mm-hmm.
how to communicate your needs, without blaming,
Mm-hmm.
or, make it, because, people get defensive when you start telling them how you feel, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and we do it sometimes. Somebody could just be telling us
Yeah.
how they feel, and we like, well, damn, we take it as an attack. You know what I mean? So
And we
we
shouldn't.
have, yeah, and we have to learn how to communicate efficiently and effectively, and not just
Say it
communicate.
again.
Yes, learn how to communicate efficiently and effectively. That way you can know that your point has been gotten across. You can know that whoever you're speaking to understands you and not just saying, yeah, okay, uh-huh, okay, oh yeah, okay. We need to
Right.
start learning the signs, learning the best way to communicate with the people around us. Our children,
Mhm.
we could teach them and train them. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it's more work to do. Yes, it's something else on our plate. But guess what? This something else on our plate is what's gonna help. It's not just
Mhm.
something else on our plate to just have. It's something else on our plate that helps relieve pressure. So we have to be like, yes, let's take the time. Let's take the time we need to absorb and consume this so that everything else on our plate can be distributed evenly, or distributed like we need to.
And
Okay.
yes, Michael, yes, you're absolutely right. We are also being attacked at the same time while having to deal with all this other mess. Just like y'all black men are being attacked, we're also being attacked. Okay. So having to deal with the struggles of that, motherhood, the workforce and everything else, it might be a bit much at times.
Yeah, it's
We
gonna be
might,
a yeah. And one thing about it is that we are built for a time. You feel
okay.
me? We are the goddesses. Okay, we
Mhm.
did birth humanity. We did
Mhm.
all that. We can carry the nation on our back. Yeah, we sure the hell can, but not
Mhm.
without a plan and not without some strategy and not without
Right.
some self-discipline and not without some self-love first. Because we gotta
Mhm.
care enough about ourselves to be the solution. You feel me?
Absolutely.
And I feel like we get attacked for loving yourself. When you
Yep.
put yourself first, everybody be like, "Oh, you're selfish. Oh, how dare you?" But
Yep.
how in the world is everybody else gonna be good if mama ain't good?
Right.
If you kill the queen bee on a hive, what's gonna happen? The
There's
rest
no
of the hive
hive.
gonna die. If you kill the queen ant, what's gonna happen? The ants colony is
Hmm.
gonna suffer. So if you cut the
Right.
head off the woman in the black community, then the rest of the community is gonna fail. If we poison the woman, you poisoning the child. You poisoning the whole bloodline if the woman ain't got it. So we
Yep.
can't act like we not the bosses here. We can't act like everybody know they life revolve around a woman. Cause where we all came from. The womb.
Mhm.
Everybody. Ain't nobody skipped that.
Mhm. Right.
You know? So it's like us women, we have to first of all stop being ashamed of
Please.
womanhood. Yeah, we hurt, all of us. If you a mama and you raising children and you working and you paying bills, nobody better not say nothing to you. You better
Okay.
have your ears turned off to
Right.
whoever ain't paying a bill.
Okay.
Okay? Stop caring what these people think. I don't care if that's
Right.
your mama. I don't care if it's them kids got something to say. Y'all can take y'all ass to y'all daddy. What you
Hmm.
saying? Okay, it's programs for y'all too. What's up? You want to deal with me or you want to deal with this program?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just that it's like we have to not feel like we being conceited or arrogant for standing in our power.
Right.
You feel me? And I think that's one of those things. Oh, we've been to be meek and mild and palatable for everybody. But when you a warrior, don't nobody like that unless they need you to go to war for them.
Right. Now I
You
do want to
know?
say this. Another way, another solution. Um, I can say this kind of helps me personally. It may not for you or whoever else, or it might help
Mhm.
the next. I would invest in a journal. There's many
Mm,
different journals out here. I have
mhm.
two.
Okay.
One is called A Journey with Me. It's like an introspective activity journal, and it
Mm,
basically helps to get to know yourself better.
mm,
Not
mhm.
nobody else, or help them get. It's you,
Yeah, what you need. Okay, I
and
like
it
that.
and it gives you themes. It asks you questions. Like I'll give you a few. Um, okay, so on this page I have open, it has In what ways are you fearless and how does that make you feel powerful? How
Mm.
can you build on these positive feelings? Okay. So you would take that page and you would answer that question to your best ability because it's about you.
Mm.
Okay. And then at the bottom of the page, it gives a quote. Beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful. Mary Shelley. So that's one page. Let's go to a different one. How's your work ethic? If you were a boss, what qualities would you attribute to a good work ethic in your employees? Okay. Again, these are about you. And maybe you've had a goal in mind, or maybe you had a thought to maybe make your own business. Hey, this is a start right here. You're putting it on paper to get the wheels turning. The
That's
quote
right.
for that one is, there are two kinds of people, those who do the work and those who take the credit. Try to be in the first group. There is less competition there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sit in any corner, even if you got your baby laying on the bed with you. Lay the baby down to the side. Get your journal out. Even if it's for a few minutes, jot something down. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's another release as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Be
I'm a
consistent with it.
Right. Go ahead, Mama. I'm gonna grab the other journal real quick.
Okay. Yeah. No. I like the journal idea. You know what I mean? Because that's a good way to, like sis said, to see yourself. And I'm gonna throw in there, get you a confidence coach. Okay, find you a life coach, somebody who can help you put some structure in order if you can't do it yourself, or you don't have the ability to structure and order things yourself. You know. Now I want to see this other journal because I love a good journal. I got 100 million notebooks. you know, I love it.
Right. Right. There's another one I used before. I don't use that one anymore, but 1 year self discovery journal for
Mm,
Black women.
I heard of that one.
Um, yes, and it's an audible too. So it's not just a journal. It's audible as well. So that's another one you can use. My point is, there's many journals out here that you can use. Just find one that suits you personally and run with it. I mean, those little moments that I have, sometimes I jot in it while I'm at work. If I have some downtime, those little moments work, and then you could go back and reflect on it. And sometimes it's just the joy of getting out some aggression, or it's another way to release. Another thing you could do is, a lot of people find exercising as a release. Go for a walk. Hey, babies in, if you got youngins, put them in the stroller, walk in your neighborhood. It'll tire the
Hmm.
babies out, you know,
Yeah,
and
get
it'll
some
give
fresh
you some
air.
moments to get some peace.
Okay, get some fresh air.
Some
The
people like,
endorphins
right,
pumping.
right. Some people like cooking. I'm one of those people that enjoy cooking as well. Cooking is very therapeutic to me. That's my time to think about a lot of stuff. Like, even though I'm focused on preparing the meal, I'm also thinking about other things going on. So that's another way you can release. Our point is, you just have to find what works for you. But first, that's the third step. The first step, admit you have a problem. Second
Okay.
step, ask for some assistance. Third step, start looking for solutions. Fourth step, indulge in those solutions.
Mm,
Okay? Because there's a difference. You can look for solutions all day long, but if you don't indulge in them,
right. Faith without work is dead. That's what they say.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wonder if anybody had any questions about anything that we went over, or anything, something for the culture page. You can send a message there. If I don't get to it, I'll have Mama D answer it, or we will on this segment particularly. If you need any resources, I'm going to be putting that up at the towards the before the night is out. I have some resources you can look into or some groups for the mothers just in case, you want to talk to some other people, which is another outlet. You can get with mothers alike that are going through the same thing. And hey, maybe y'all can link up and do something, or maybe it's just about somebody hearing you that, hey, I need help, or hey, sometimes I struggle with this. So yeah, so here that's what we're here for. So, Mama D, I'm gonna let you have this time to give
Uh-oh.
any shout outs or anything that you wanted to say before we get up out of here.
Yeah, I just want to give love to everybody. Send some
Did
love
you
to
hear
every.
me?
Yes, I did. I did. It broke up a little bit, but I heard what you said. Give my little closing remarks. So, I just want to send love out to you, sis. Thank you for having me. To everybody watching, and
Anytime.
yeah, girl. And I'm on Facebook, IG. Y'all can follow me at, I think it's Odessa Bay on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
IG is Moabitis
Mm-hmm.
357. Okay. And I just be talking my, preaching and teaching, because I'm a life coach, confidence coach, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all here for women loving themselves, and I push self-worship. Okay. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that we got to talk about this today and kind of bring this to the light for the culture.
Thank you. And we loved having you. You're welcome here anytime. For those of y'all that don't know, and I mentioned this earlier, and way earlier when we started the segment, she's actually my co-host on Righteously Ratchet, which is a whole nother flip to what we do over here. But she's also a womb expert. She's ordained priestess. She's a mason. I mean, the list goes on. She has so many talents to her. Please go follow her page. I promise you won't be disappointed. She has a lot of jewels and she drops them daily, every minute on the minute. I'm sure you'll find something that will stick out to you or
That's right.
pinpoint with you or whatever the case may be. But these are people that we need to have in our circle sometimes. And sometimes we
That's
don't,
right.
necessarily get linked up with them. But when you do, grab on to them and
Okay.
learn. There's nothing up with soaking somebody else's knowledge up or energy. As
That's
long as
right.
it's good energy now. Don't be out here just soaking up all energy. But again, thank you for coming on the culture. We love to have you back. Um, Ladies, mothers, wives, please. I hope everything that we said here tonight resonated with you and maybe this helped someone. Please share. If you have any questions, y'all can also hit us up via email at somethingfortheculture@yahoo.com. I'm your host and creator, Jazzy J. We will be back next Monday with a whole nother topic. We'll see y'all then.